Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, the Virtual Velocity Racing League heads to the desert here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Beautiful 1.5 mile tri-oval out here in Sin City. It is a track that is very fun to race on, no matter what cars you're out here with. Obviously, these guys out here with the next gen NASCARs, but this track provides a lot of high-speed racing, some good banking, and it's got a lot of different grooves, so you should see a lot of passing, a lot of good racing by these guys. Carl Hamrick in the booth, joined by Jimmy Cover. Jimmy, I'm a fan of Vegas. What about you?
Big fan of Vegas. You know, this is the place where, you know, it's a perfect length. It's super fast, and it's Vegas, so plenty of gambling going on as far as out in the streets and on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what these guys can do. Certainly put up a good race last week at Atlanta. Hoping to see these guys come out there and do it again. Our man that runs the league here, Tim Lee, back in the States for at least a brief moment to finally get back out on the track. Talked to him a little bit earlier, and he's looking forward to get out here with these guys. As we've got 34 strong right now as we're near the end of practice, but we're going to bring in one of them right now, and that is going to be the driver of the 92 machine, Hayden Wheeler. Hayden, just want to bring you in here, just kind of discuss your outlook here on the season here in VVR. What you're looking to do here. If there's any tracks that you're looking forward to, if you're looking forward to tonight in particular. But why don't you give us a little background on yourself?
My name is Hayden, as you said. My number is 92. I'm from New York, but I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm a flatbed and specialized truck driver for rail transport. Been on iRacing for 8 years this April. I have a German Shepherd named Johann who's asleep behind me. He just got some shots today.
So is the next gen your kind of car of choice here on the service?
You know, it's really funny you asked me that, because we were just talking, and I was just saying how my heart kind of belongs to the IndyCar. I love NASCAR. Actually, I prefer NASCAR to watch NASCAR over IndyCar, but when it comes to driving, something about the IndyCar and me, we just get along pretty well. I was doing a bunch of official races in the IR18 at Phoenix. Like last year, the year before, and the whole week I was just dominating, and I was just like, this is kind of an unusual combination. I didn't think that me and the IndyCar would get along so well, but no, yeah. So I think I kind of just actually said to one of the guys, like, hey, I wish this was an IndyCar league.
Yeah, this is a track here in Vegas where it can work certainly for IndyCars just as much as the next gens, but IndyCars can get a little hairy with the open wheel situation. Obviously, you bump a little bit here in the next gens, not going to kill you. You bump a little bit in the IndyCars and you could be losing a wheel before you know it. But right. Looking at the season here, is there any tracks in particular that you're fond of, that you're looking forward to? Any that are kind of on your poop list? We'll keep it PC here.
Well, I think every track's my poop list. No, I'm just kidding. I like, I like super speedways. Excuse me. Like Daytona, Talladega. I like those. I actually like Las Vegas, at least in the previous gen cars. So this is my first race here in these cars. But if you want to base it off of the last gen, it would be, I like Kansas as well. The reason why I say base it off of the last gen is because I really haven't raced many tracks in this car except for super speedways. There was one track that I think it might have been an official race. I'm not 100% sure, but it was definitely in my poop list. It might have been Kentucky.
Yeah, I can see Kentucky being one of them. It's you got the 1.5 mile trail, but it's a little flatter, and the thing drives like it's a concrete track, even though it's not. But you guys are getting ready to go out there qualifying, so we won't hold you up too much more. Anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we get you out there?
I would like to thank Derek Collison for throwing me in here. It was kind of a last minute thing. Michael Falk Racing Designs, Wheeler Logistics. We'll get it there, probably. That's pretty much it. Oh, and of course, you guys.
Oh, we appreciate that. Well, we wish you good luck out there. Maybe we'll see you in the top 3 here, and we'll get to talk to you one more time after the race.
Hopefully, or the infield care center.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Let's not talk there.
All right, you guys have a good broadcast.
All right, yeah. Good luck out there, buddy. That is the driver of the 92, Hayden Wheeler, out here tonight, and we'll see what he can do with the rest of the boys out here. As again, we got a nice size field out here tonight. Right now, I think we're looking at 34 guys. These guys are out there for qualifying right now. Jimmy, this isn't exactly a track that, qualifying is that important. I mean, track position is going to be key, maybe later in the race, but early on, I think this track is wide enough and it's got enough grooves that these guys will be able to make passes if they're faster. What do you think your thoughts are? I mean, obviously a deeper field here, you want to put some kind of time in. You don't want to start, 34th back there, but what are your feelings here for qualifying?
Well, with this side of the field, obviously I'm going to get out there and try to do the best I can, and I did notice that the field was not separated by much, so it's going to be very interesting to see how they all do, and see how much they're separated. But as you can see right now, Robert Kahn with provisional pole up top there, and at number 21, and down there all the way to the 24 drivers that have been out there already, only just a little over half a second. And some people are a little better at qualifying, some people are better at a race run, so the field not separated by much here tonight. I would say about half second so far through 26 cars, and to have 30 plus drivers out here in attendance, I mean, that's a lot of people sitting behind their computers and having a good time. And hopefully the fans come out here, support their see the significant others, or maybe they're a sponsor or whatever it may be. But there's a lot going on right now. Drivers have about 2 more minutes remaining, so plenty enough time for the rest of the field to get times in right now. So there's a few stragglers getting out there trying to get times in, but right now it's all about the 21 looking to take that provisional pole here at Vegas.
Yeah, last week we seen Dalton Kilroe take the win at Atlanta with the 120 lap race out there. It was a really good race to see, and for the start of the season, I mean, it's you can't really ask for much more. I mean, these guys put on a great race out there. Kilroe ended up winning by 1.1 seconds only over Derek Paulson and Ty Marasco, as the boys over there at MFRD end up going 1, 2, 3, and looks like they brought in Hayden Wheeler maybe to try and make a clean sweep of the top 5 at some point here. But right now, Marasco, your 3rd place finisher last week, is moving himself to the top of the boards with a 29.352. Good lap there, but only 0.04 of a second separating those top 2 right now. But yeah, as we mentioned last week, a bunch of different leaders, as we had looks like 5, 6, 7 different leaders last week, but majority of the race was led by Dalton Kilroe. We'll see if he can back it up here and go back to back, as he's sitting right now P at number 5 on the boards. But I mean, clean race last week, Jimmy, the start of the season, and it's not exactly easy to do with this many cars out there. Last week they had 27 cars out there, and to do it at Atlanta, the first race of the season, a lot of guys running together for the first time, maybe ever, to go 120 clean. That was a pretty hell of a good start.
Yes, I mean, that's a pretty good start, especially at the last track there, and we're gonna see if they can do it again here. And this track is almost like a little mini Daytona. I mean, it's really a high speed, and these cars really do hunker down around and get around those corners very well. Qualifying is over. We have a big list to go through who's starting where, so I'll go ahead and clear off this list right here and bring up the grid here and show you where everybody is going to start here tonight. So starting on that front row is going to be Ty Marasco with Robert Kahn there, and then row number 2 will be Tyler Hilton with Eric Blount. Then row number 3 will be Hayden Wheeler with Dalton Kilroe. Row number 4, Derek Paulson with Ray Courtney. Robert Smith and Gordon Larson Jr. will be occupying row number 5. Row number 6, Stephen Lauder with Cody Griffin. 13th and 14th place are row number 7 is going to be Len McNeese with Mike Taylor. Row number 8 will be Billy Van Meter with Joseph with Joseph, Mister.
Grijalva.
Grijalva?
I've had him in another league. Yep.
Okay.
Grijalva, yep.
Grijalva. So we'll work on that one. I'm sure I'll butcher it a few times here tonight. Row number 9 is going to Mike right out with Todd Merkel, and then farther back through the field here will be row number 10 will be Brian Dees with Tim Lee, and then row 11 will be Chris Moreland with Russ Hancock. Row number 12 will be Matthew Meekin with Brandon Mefford. Row number 13 will be Joshua Divers with DJ Mitzel. Row number 14, Chantel Pottle with Todd Poston. And still got more drivers out here. Row number 15, Hilton Young with Chris Schussler. Row number 16, Michael Eden with Michael Pratt. Row number 17, Tim Williams with Brian Rainfield. And to wrap up the 35th position here tonight will be Ray Radford. So big field here tonight, and it's going to be an impressive one as these drivers get out there and get going here tonight here at Vegas. I mean, 120 laps. It's quite a distance here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you take a look at the time, is really not much time separating first all the way through about 30th. I think the last 4 or 5 guys not putting in a time here tonight, but these guys are pulling off. We're getting ready to go here. Again, 120 laps are on the table here for these guys. We'll see who can come out of this thing with the win, see if Dalton Kilroe can make it back-to-back to start the season, or if we'll have a new winner here in race number 2. But again, this is the Virtual Velocity Racing Series, and it was great last week. I have high hopes for this one to be good too. I mean, you see the track right there. It's wide enough that you can go 3 wide here. It gets a little sketchy, but it's high speed, and it feels like the cars are sometimes like slot cars going around this track. It's just a great track to run around. So I'm looking forward to this one for sure. But if you haven't done so yet, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe and help us getting very close to that 900 number, trying to get to 1,000 ultimately. But we appreciate all the support that we've had so far. Jimmy, it's about time to fire these guys off here. We are coming through turns 3 and 4, and it is going to be Ty Marasco, Robert Kahn on the front row. Going to be taking the green flag this time by, and looks like may have one driver starting from pit road. That is Michael Pratt there in pit road, but Barney has the green in hand. The guys are going through the Geico start zone, and we are racing here at Vegas.
Like a pretty good start there by most of the field. A little bit of slip up there towards the back, but good start so far. You have Ty Marasco out front there with the 1 on that bottom line outside the 21 of Robert Kahn, heading down the back stretch as the 21 has the momentum. You know, and are we gonna, 1 just up just a little bit. It's going to make the 6 check up just a little bit, but they're 3 wide back there for P number 4.
Coming down and leading the first lap is going to be the 21 of Robert Kahn, getting it done on the outside there. Certainly getting really close and a little shifty. Maybe even got some guys in scraping the wall there a little bit on this first lap by. Got to get those tires up to temp and up to pressure before you can really kind of push these cars along here. But going through on lap number 2 here, it is Kahn, Marasco, Hilton, Hayden Wheeler, and Derek Paulson, your top 5.
So already drivers starting to file out single file. They know that they need to go a long ways, you know. And you know, unlike a lot of leagues that we broadcast, Carl, I broadcast with Derek so much these days, but there is no fast repair. So you know, a bad wreck or getting into an incident, not checking up or something like that could end your night here. And with 31 drivers, if you're in that position to gain a lot of points for the championship, it could be your night here. So we're going to see how these drivers pan out as we see some pretty hardy racing up here, up front, there in front of Hayden Wheeler into 92, as Tyler Hilton and Ty Marasco are side by side.
Yeah, the lonely 77. You see the little dot there on the track is Michael Pratt, just trying to hopefully get an early caution here so he can rejoin the field. Not sure if he straight up missed a start or if he decided to start from pit road, but he's out there kind of by himself right now. But this is a track where in the beginning you're going to see pretty much everybody grouped together, but it is a track where you very well could see the field start to spread out once it gets through the run here a little bit, and especially once you once you go through that first round of pit cycles. Just happened to look up at the little the ticker that we got going across the top here, and might have to have our buddy there, Tim Lee, edit his name a little bit as it just showed admin on there. So if you're looking for Tim Lee, just look for admin. He is admin out here tonight, which I mean is true. But just in case you're looking for Lee, you're not going to find it. But out front, it is the 21 of Robert Kahn. Right behind him now is the 02 of Tyler Hilton. Started, in third place, but now looking to the outside through 3 and 4 and battle for the lead coming to the stripe. This time, give it to Tyler Hilton. So lead change at the front.
Yeah, and this is just just a little taste of what the racing can be, and not only just up front, but throughout the back of the field. It's going to be a tough one trying to go through. So if you're out there watching and you got a favorite driver, you're kind of curious where somebody's at, just hit us up in the chat. Let us know. We'll have plenty of time to work our way through the field, see what your driver's doing, or your friend or your spouse or your kids or whatever it may be. Just let us know, and definitely hook you up to show you exactly where they're at, because sometimes I know we got the ticker up top, so you guys got maximum view capacity. I will go ahead and I'll bring up the timing tower, but it is huge, and so just for a little bit, but you can kind of see where everybody's at and what everybody's best times are. But let's see if I could probably just I like to use usually pit numbers, but I will go ahead and I guess throw up their car number for now, as kind of give us an idea who's who in the zoo out there on the track. But a lot of good racing, some side-by-side action going on towards the back here with these drivers. SDK being a little stinker tonight, but yeah, so just good racing all so far, all the way around the track. Go ahead, we'll move up into 15th place here, see what's going on here with Mike Rideout and the gang here, as he's in a pretty good battle. As you can see, the cars just kind of shifting from low to high to mid, so plenty of lanes out there to choose from, Carl.
Yeah, finally, SDK is being a little jerk to somebody else other than me. I kind of appreciate that. Thank you, SDK. But yeah, not sure what happened there. If that was somebody blinking out, I just seen a bunch of sparks, rubber or rocks or what. Yeah, it's just a lot of black dots go flying up in the air. But looks like everybody's still clean, and we are still green here. Already completing lap 10 and on lap 11 right now, but still a battle side by side for the lead. Again, it is the 02 of Tyler Hilton on the outside. Robert Kahn in second, taking a ride on board here with pole sitter Ty Marasco, looking up at these guys as they battle for the lead. Nobody wants to give it up, and then for all we know, maybe these guys, I'd say they're teammates, but one's in a Ford and one's in a Toyota, so you never know here. But they're blocking the entire track. Nowhere for Marasco to go right now, as he maybe thought 3 wide there for a second, but just not enough room, and certainly too early to make a move yet. But I mean, you can't wait around too long, Jimmy, because we complete this lap here, we're already a tenth of the way through.
The laps are going to tick by pretty quickly. 120 laps, it sounds like a big number, but if these drivers do what they did last week and keep it green, it's really going to put some pressure to try to get out front. And you can see that how 2 cars could pretty much occupy a good portion of the track. It's going to make it very difficult for other drivers to kind of catch up. They want to see it, obviously, so they can everybody else can kind of maintain that line, but maybe back there, in that P number 4 spot, maybe with Hayden Wheeler or even the 16 of Derek Paulson, maybe just kind of sitting there, more like have a catbird seat, because like I said, there's no fast repair. You mess up. You gotta rely on your pit crew to get your damages done. But for the good part of it, you're probably going to be done for the night.
We see a lot of these guys up here at the front. You see 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th all in the MFRD team, and that being Ty Marasco, Hayden Wheeler, Dalton Kilroe, and Derek Paulson. So I'm sure they're talking to each other, working together, battling side by side, but still a lot of racing to go here. And still got, I'm sure, at least 2 pit stops for these guys to get through. And it's been a great race so far. On lap number 15 right now, to see the field start to spread out just a little bit here. And we've certainly got a pull-away group at the front as the top looks like the top. Trying to see it here on my
8 and 9,
on my
9.
line here. Yeah, 8 or 9 guys here pulling away from everybody right now, and then from 10th on back is where you get the next gaggle of cars until you get all the way back to 23rd for the next pack. So it's pack racing, even though it's not a super speedway here, but you lose one of the packs and you're going to fall back a little bit, and we're seeing the guys kind of start shuffling around a little bit. A lot of different lines, as we talked about. You see the low line, seems to be predominant, but that middle, middle/high line is certainly right there. I mean, we see the O2 up front of Tyler Hilton. He was up there for forever trying to battle for that lead, but even the high line all the way up on that last seam is already coming into play, and you'll see these guys 3 wide and using all 3 lines. You got to get out there. You got to figure out where your car feels comfortable, where you're going to be fast, and you're going to have to switch it up. You're going to have to play some audibles here throughout the race to try and make some passes.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to come up with some sort of strategy, and I talk about it a lot because of how important it is, and it's easier to pass somebody and there's somebody there, and that's the pits. You got a very fast race track here, and a pretty. It's a decent entry, I think, for a pit lane. But if you haven't practiced it, where you can maximize your time coming down into the pit lane, and then obviously down through the lane wherever is limited, and then get yourself a good exit and back out on track again. So they need to make sure they obviously practice that. I think with a large field like this, it can pay huge dividends. It could be the difference between being in 20th and being in 10th place with a great pit stop.
Yeah, it's definitely not the hardest pit road to get into coming off of turn number 4 right there, but with the speed that these guys are carrying, you really kind of need to be conscious of who's around you, who's behind you, and you can't virtually throw up a hand and let them know that, hey, I'm coming to the pits this time. You want to try and talk to the guys over there. You kind of don't want to give away your strategy, but in the same case, you don't want to get run over. So hopefully these guys are communicating when they do need to come down into pit lane. And again, it's not difficult to get in, but you want to maximize any possibility of gaining time on anybody else. There's a little bump off the wall there, and that looked like it might have been DJ Mitzel in the number 4. But I mean, you got to get in there as fast as you can to try and maximize every little bit that's possible. But you lock up those wheels just a little bit too much, and you can be sliding across that line and speeding, and it's really going to kill your race. Same thing goes for the exit. The exit kind of tempts you to go faster and faster, but if you touch those tires up above that white line up onto the track before you get to the blue cone on the backstretch, it is going to be a penalty for unsafe exit. And again, you don't want to come in, you don't want to spend 40 seconds in the pits, because right now you're taking a look at the timing tower. Granted, it's still early in the race, but 40 seconds, you're going from first if you're there all the way back to last.
Yeah, more than likely you'll probably go a lap down, if not 2. So by the time you got to get down in the pit lane, your time on pit lane, your 40 seconds in the pits for the hold, your service time in there, so your tires and your fuel, definitely gonna muck things up there a little bit. But right now it is all Robert Kahn out front over Ty Maraskal, Dalton Kilroe, and Derek Paulson and Hayden Wheeler for your top 5. Kind of strung out there, single file, a little bit different, I think, approach by some of the drivers kind of up front. Until we get back to, I believe it's back here around 11th, and behind 11th, you can see the cluster of cars with R2 wide. Still kind of figuring out, trying to get around, trying to make positions, trying to make things happen. But we're already 23 laps in, Carl, and it's already a good sign that it's going to be another great race here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, Atlanta went by pretty quickly because of everything being green, but this track is even faster. These guys are getting around this track even faster. Times, even though we're 24 laps in right now, still in the low 30-second range. So I mean, we're clicking these things off very quickly, and before you know it, we're going to be halfway. Before you know it, we're going to be at the end of this thing. So it's one where you don't want to push too early, you don't want to waste your car too early, your tires too early, but again, you have to take advantage of it whenever you can. So you may have to be a little bit more aggressive here tonight than you were at Atlanta, if you're, out of position, you feel like you need to be up a little bit further in the track, and right along with Tim Williams right now, trying to get on the inside of Mike Rideout as he was battling for 20th. Hayden Wheeler, our pre-race interview here, is riding in 5th place, which is where he started. Biggest mover of the race, though, we got 2 of them. Back in 9th place, Matthew McMeekin is up 14 spots from starting back there in 23rd. And then back in 18th position, you got Tim Williams, who is up 15 spots after starting. Well, actually 16 now, as he makes another move there in the number 45 machine, as he started pretty much shotgun on the field way back there in 33rd. As he's battling right now for 17th position. So some good early movements from some guys that maybe started out of position qualifying wise and making their way up towards the front.
Yeah, they just could have messed up their qualifying run, or maybe they're just one of them racers that just don't qualify very well. And we've seen both. Sometimes leagues will also give the like an extra point for like the most the hard charger for the race. But yeah, doing a great job back there, and currently moving up in the P16 now, so up 17 spots. So just having a good time riding around. So Mike Taylor back here, kind of pulling up the tail end here of that looks to be like the 3rd group, as the first 4 have seemed to kind of settle down with each other, just running nose to tail and checking out just a little bit over 5th place of Hayden Wheeler. So out to about where are they? Well, these 2 are fighting right now. So Ray Courtney and 48. Oh, wait, yeah, the Cody Griffith. So 5th and 6th are fighting right now, side by side, but they are 2 seconds back from the people in front right now. So a couple of little groups kind of working together now. They're not doing too much work, like working together. They're battling. I think that's why they're falling behind just a little bit. This early on, I think I'd be more, unless I was truly a lot faster than the guy in front of me, just kind of tuck down in behind and let things go. But it looks like we're having pit action going on right now. So it looks like there's a few drivers down on the pit lane there. I'm going to bring up the tower there so you can see who's coming down on the pits.
It looked like Hayden Wheeler thought about going in the pits there, made a late decision to stay out, as you've seen he was very close to having contact with the 48. Now it looks like he's going to stay to the bottom and possibly come in this time by. But again, big wiggle there by the 92, but he gets it down onto the apron, and you see how easy it can be that it's going to throw your race away. But man, I guess we'll just go ahead and what do you think from the concession stands, Jimmy? Well, we got a little bit of time. I'll be back here.
I mean, I got about 30 seconds while everybody is getting some new tires and fuel. 31 laps, so looking like right around that 30 lap range. Now's the gambling part. What's their strategies? Are they taking gas? Are they taking tires? Are they, what are they doing? I don't see a lot of cars going up in the air, so it looks like just a big refuel and run. As they come back out in the track there, you see a lot of them battling out there. A lot of them are starting to come back around. But right now, I think when everything boils down to it, you have Ty Rasco on the run back here. I think it's going to roll back.
Of Robert Kahn coming around the outside, 3 wide for the lead, and Kahn gonna possibly take it on the outside, but the 41 there of Dalton Kilroe trying to hang on to that position, wants to lead a lap, but not gonna happen this time by Kahn back to the lead. But Jimmy, I mean, on your super speedways at Daytona, Talladega, you see that a lot. You see, a big group of guys all coming in together, because obviously you don't want to lose the draft. Here, the draft isn't as, prevailing as it is at those tracks. But have you ever seen that many guys come in at Vegas at one time? I mean, that was crazy. I mean, we've seen, 30 of the 35 guys, I think, all come in at once.
It's actually quite impressive. I mean, the last time I
we're
seen
still
that
green.
many,
That's what the impressive thing is.
the last time I seen that many cars in the pits at once was at Bathurst 2 weeks ago when 20 of us had meatballs. All right, so yeah, I mean, it's quite impressive to see all the drivers come down the pit lane, keep this thing green, get back out there. So one rotation already down. So we know what we're kind of looking at. We're looking at that 30 lap range, and I don't know if any of those drivers were saving fuel or whatnot, and some of the drivers that decided to come in a little early, is towards the end of the race gonna bite them in the butt. But it looks like they've split it pretty evenly, 30, lap 30. But you see a couple people came in at lap 29, and if they do 29, 29, 29, they're gonna be a couple laps short at the end. So can those drivers, save that little bit of fuel and stay out there for that one extra lap and get them caught back up?
We're seeing a couple of guys that got bit by the penalty bug, and it looks like Michael Eden was in the pits there for a little over a minute. Unless he had some major damage he was getting repaired. I don't think that was a scheduled length of a pit stop. Stephen Loudon was in there for a little over 40 seconds. That sounds like a penalty right there. Todd Poston back into pit lane. Not sure what's going on for the 31 team right there. Been trying to take a look and figure out what's going on with Tyler Hilton. We had him up there at the front in the 0-2 early, but I don't see any kind of penalty for him back there in 24th right now. So I'm looking back and I didn't see that he had any incidents. It might have just been a horrible pit stop for him to send him all the way towards the back. But out front, we've got Robert Kahn, Ty Marasco, Dalton Kilroe, Derek Paulson, Ray Courtney. Now your top five with Eric Blunt, Gordon Larson, Joseph Grijalva, Matthew McMeekin, and Billy Van Meter, your top 10.
Just still impressed that they were able to come down with that many drivers deep in the pit lane with zero incidents, and it looks only a few people have maybe lost momentum, but right now Matthew McMeekin in the Navy machine, so full speed ahead, I guess, as he's working his way up towards the front. He's currently up to P number 6. Definitely a driver to watch, as he has made quite a bit of distance up here under green. See a little bit of a wiggle back there by I'm not quite sure who that was. I think who that was, who the green car was. Still trying to get to know everybody here. The 00. We have Gordon Larson Jr. So a little bit of wiggle by the City Chevrolet as some of those other drivers go by. There's Brian Dees at number 17.
Well, maybe not too many incidents on pit road, but it certainly shook up the order quite a bit, as pretty much everybody inside at least the back half of the top 10 are new guys to the top 10. A lot of guys that started inside the top 10 are no longer there. Eric Blunt started in 4th. He is hanging on to 10th place right now, but Hayden Wheeler started up there in 5th. He's back there in 15th. You got Tyler Hilton, we mentioned in the 02. He started in 3rd. He is back there in 24th. Robert Smith started in 9th. He's back there in 30th. And then Stephen Loudon started in, looks like he started in 11th place there. And he is back there in 34th. So rough first pit stop for some of these guys that started pretty high up in the order and now going to fight back here in the next portion of the race. But after the completion of this lap, we will be a third of the way through the race already. It looks like these guys are planning on a 3 pit stop strategy here with everybody coming in on lap 30, but big impact right there between the 1 and not sure who was at the 18 there of Joseph, or that's the 10 of Joseph Grijalva there. So that looks like trying to find who the 18 was there, if that was a lap car or not. But that was a big impact there between one of the guys up here in the top 5 with Ty Marasco. But everybody keeps it clean right now, and we are still green. But you're seeing the cars, the dots on the track starting to get spread out a little bit more here after that pit stop. And looks like got some more guys coming in here. And is that the, yeah, that's the Robert Smith right there is going to be coming into the pit. So it was the 08, not the 18 that ended up smacking the wall.
It's an 8.
It was an 8. You got to have it right, so you're good.
Still getting used to all the drivers out there only being week 2, but yeah, there's a lot going on, and they're starting to kind of spread out pretty good as the drivers, the leaders have made their way through a few lap cars already. So a few drivers a little bit behind right now, maybe hoping to catch a caution, to catch back up and maybe reset that mistake. But we've seen a close one there earlier there by the 08. We can actually, we'll see if we can find the 08 real quick so we can see how he's making out. There he is. He's actually in the pits.
Yeah, still in the pits here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a few lap cars in front of the leaders coming up here pretty soon. The 61 of Chris Schuchler. Last week saw hard charger Ray Radford in the 47 and the 77. Michael Pratt, who started in pit lane, looking to still hang on to that lead lap as the 41 back there, Kilrow, gets a little bit sideways going through the corner, grabbing that apron a little bit. That's going to allow Marasco to close in on him here for third place. But it is Robert Kahn at the front by a decent margin right now as he's trying to pull away a little bit here over Derek Paulson, Ty Marasco, Dalton Kilrow, Ray Courtney. Still your top 5 as Courtney now making the pass here on Dalton Kilrow, as Kilrow probably just needs to kind of cool those tires down for a little bit, have that little bit of slide through the corner. But Matthew McMeekin is going to make the pass. You see him right there in the 29, and he has certainly full steam ahead. Now diving to the inside, not waiting at all as McMeekin is on rails. He is up 20 positions now, finds himself in the top 3 for the first time tonight. Another one making some big moves is Brandon Mefford. He is up 15 positions back there in 9th position. So, I mean, we talked about Vegas, how many different lines there are and how much passing we're going to see. We're seeing a ridiculous amount of passing here tonight, Jimmy.
Yeah, there's probably more passing than I can ever try to catch on camera. Half the time is a lot going on. So you can see the mess up here with the leaders catching up there to the number 11, which is it's Stephen Lauder. So he's already a lap down. So definitely a lot of things going on back here. A lot of single file, but the leaders are starting to come up through the pack. Being able to get around them, keeping things clean and green so far. But yeah, that the person that is on the move is the number 29. And I'm almost curious whether he took any kind of tires or something that he's kind of marched his way up through.
Yeah, he did. Looking at these other guys, he did take tires about twice as long as everybody else in the pits. But, I mean, talk about driving through the field. That was an unbelievable performance here. Now finds himself at the point and checking out. So certainly McMeekin has something to say here tonight at Vegas, as whatever gamble he's made so far is certainly paying off right now. We'll see if it's still good here at the end of the race. But McMeekin, your new man at the front, and now another guy that took tires on that pit stop, Joseph Grzyalva, finds himself in 2nd place. So, I mean, it's kind of ebb and flow here depending on when these guys decide to take tires, as these guys do have 3 sets of tires here in the race. So, I mean, with 3 pit stops on the table here, you probably want to take one of those pit stops and not take tires, which it looks like kind of half the field did. The other half of the field took tires, but
more wide back there.
If these guys don't have a caution again, you're going to be sitting there with a set of tires that you didn't use. So, I mean, for these guys like McMeekin and Grzyalva, and now you see Brian Dees as he's up 16 positions himself. I mean, first place is up 22 spots, second place up 14, third place up 16. You see that sometimes, with bigger fields, for these guys being in the top 10, not first, second, and third, Jimmy.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's got to have some sort of speed. But we're seeing some drivers coming down the pits there. I see somebody coming down pit lane right now. Who is that? That's
47.
Yeah, Ray Radford entering the pits.
Yeah, Radford in the pits. Looks like the 31 of Poston still in pit lane as well. But out front, it is the 29 of McMeekin. Grzyalva in 2nd. Dees in 3rd. Then you got Derek Paulson moving now up into fourth position. Robert Kahn in fifth. Ray Courtney, Brandon Medford, Ty Marasco, Dalton Kilrow, and Billy Van Meter, your top 10.
As a a fellow driver out there, Carl. I mean, what are you thinking? When you see somebody, gamble on tires and then you just see them kind of checking out. I mean, you're only hoping that a caution comes out and you can kind of catch them and be on equal playing field for a while. But and hopefully your turn comes where they weren't running that fast, but somebody that's come from the back. We're talking 22 spots, so over half the field has. I mean, obviously he gambled with his tires, but it has put him out front and with a huge lead. So now, he's just increasing it. He's out to a nice 6-second lead here, or 1.5 second leads over number 2. So
and these top 3 have checked out, so it's over 2 seconds over fourth place. And yeah, again, it comes back to these guys have 3 sets of tires that they can take on for the race. And everybody coming in there to pit on lap 30 tells me that they're going to be making this a 3 pit stop race. So logic tells you tires for all 3 of them. But if you have a late caution and you don't have an extra set of tires and somebody else does, they're going to be on absolute rails at the end of that race, and you can have losing it. So yeah, it's the first pit stop, but you almost got to make that gamble right off the bat. Do you think this thing is going to go green the entire way? If you do, you're taking tires.
About
and that's what some of these guys did.
No caution to be found in sight. The drivers are giving each other room. We've seen a few drivers come close to the wall, but able to check out, get control of these their cars, and just keep on going. But right now, we're just kind of spread all out. I mean, it's hard to kind of say who's where. I mean, I'm looking at battles. We have a good battle here for I think it's Pete. Yeah, so here's a battle for Pete number
4.
Yeah, 4 and 5.
We're here between Derek Paulson and Ray Courtney. Courtney trying to move himself up into the top 4 here. And right behind these guys, you got Brandon Medford coming up through the field as well. He is up again 18 positions at this time, as Robert Kahn's starting to fall back now. He was a guy that was at the front early on, and of the guys there in the top the top 6, 4 of them took at least 2 tires on that first pit stop. But Ray Courtney and Derek Paulson, that looked like they only took fuel on that one. And you got a couple guys a little bit deeper in the field. Brian Rainville is up 21 spots as he started back there in 34th, now up in 13th. And again, another guy that took tires on that first pit stop. So we'll see what they do when everybody comes down this next time, because you got to assume everybody's probably taking tires on this next pit stop, unless, again, those guys that took the tires on the first one, maybe they want to take a gamble and not take tires just in case there is a caution late in the race and kind of get back on the same strategy everybody else. But I mean, you look at Atlanta last week and you look at how this field is now spread out across the entire track, and starting to lose a little bit of guys here and there. I feel like you need to take tires in every pit stop here and just run this thing to the end.
I mean, and it's working for Matthew right now as he's out to a pretty nice lead over there over Brian Dees. But obviously, I think everybody's got their own strategy. It is Vegas, so we are gambling here to decide when to come in, how to what kind of pit stop you need to make. And each driver is doing the best they can here to get the best finish they can. But we're up on that halfway mark right now, Carl. We're on lap 60 of 120, so the completion here will mark the halfway mark as we kind of walk through the field. But Matthew McMeekin out front over Brian Dees, Joseph Gravala, Brandon Medford, Derek Paulson, Ray Courtney, Robert Kahn, Ty Marasco, and Dalton Kilrow, and Billy Van Meter for your top 10. But round number 2 of pit stops is starting here as we cross that 60 line. Now we're going to see, who comes in, who takes tires. It's going to be another, I think, massive exodus here for pit lane. I'll go ahead and pull up that timing tower so you can see who is in the pit road right now.
About half the field in the pits right now. The other half still staying out as we've got. Now it looks like pretty much everybody is going to be coming in and completing their pit stop. And the 3:43 winning the battle off the pit road right there. And again, another trip to the concession stand here. Get yourself another drink here while these guys are making their second pit stop. But I mean, again, the biggest thing is don't hurt yourself by getting a penalty. I mean, a penalty is going to absolutely kill your race. But it looks like the man out front, again, not taking tires this time. So we've seen Brian Dees out there not taking tires. He is your leader by about 2.5 seconds. Grajava in second. He was one that took tires the first time, didn't take them this time. We'll see how it works out. McMeekin took tires again. So he is left with one set of tires in the pits. If this stays green and he's allowed to take tires there on lap 90, he's good to go. But I mean, I like this call right here by McMeekin. It's they went green for 120 laps last week. It was a little bit more bunched together. Here you see the track map. I mean, there's cars across the entire track, which seems like it would be crazier, but it's not. I mean, there's less guys running alongside of each other, and the chance of a yellow is lessened. So you take that chance at taking those tires each time, and it could very well pay off in a win here for McMeekin. But as it stands right now, I mean, again, the amount of positions that these guys are up. Your leader, Brian Dees, up 18 spots. Grajava in second, up 14. McMeekin in third, up 20. Mefford in fourth now is up 20. I mean, it's crazy. Even Brian Rainville now up into 13th. He is up 21 spots. Joshua Divers in 11th. He's up 14 spots. And that all tells half of the story. The other half of the story is the guys losing a ton of positions. And you look at the bad half of that. Tyler Hilton back there down 19 spots. Cody Griffin down 15. Stephen Lauder down 17. Hayden Wheeler is down 26. Mike Rideout looks like he's in the pits right now. He's down 15. Robert Smith down 24. So you're going to have the guys that are picking up a ton of positions, but it also means you got guys that are not. But not sure what's going on here with Grajava. Looks like maybe just blinking out a little bit. If he's hopping back and forth, I see that he's out. I'm like,
yeah,
no?
he's got some internet connections. It's hard to lock onto his car as a broadcaster, so it's definitely a place that he trying to watch him like via somebody else as he's on the outside of Brian Dees. So trying to take the lead in that number 10 car.
This first race out here for Grajava in the Virtual Velocity Racing Series. And Jimmy, I mean, it's been a heck of a race so far. We're halfway through. We got 2 pit stops down. We got 1 more to go for these guys. What do you think of the racing so far?
I mean, can't.
Oh, as McMeekin
smacks the wall.
Yeah, a little bobble there by the 17, and McMeekin had to check up and unfortunately couldn't catch it before he got into the wall. Hopefully not too much damage on the outside of that. Navy number 29, but you see him fighting it right now. Definitely a little bit of scraping up on the front, but I don't even see the the hood folded up or anything like that. So may have gotten away with that one just a little bit, but certainly a moment that he didn't want to have. And now it looks like he definitely does have some damage now coming down onto the apron. He's going to have to come into the pits. He's not going to be able to make it here to the end. Not this far, I don't think, unless these guys were really short pitting on those pit stops. So that is a heartbreaker for McMeekin, and he's going to need a caution and then some to try and get back in this one.
Yeah, tough break there for the Navy machine as he works his way back down the track to get some repairs done and maybe save his race a little bit here, but it's gonna hurt. That one's gonna hurt there for him. So, anyways, we're back out on track. A lot of good action going all over the place. We got some good action here with our, with Ty Marasco. Obviously, start up front early, but now they're still sitting in the top 10. Now it's just like their pit strategies with the others. So, but it looks like Kudo and Ty Marasco are working pretty much on the same pit strategy, Carl.
pretty amazing. All the all the different storylines that we've seen here, and it's Vegas, baby. I mean, you've seen a lot of different action here already, and we're only just past the halfway mark, so this thing is far from being decided yet. But Ty Marasco, yeah, one of those guys that started all the way up front, and now is back there in the back half of the top 10. But really, I mean, I guess at this point you got to give it to the guys that started in the top 10 that are still in the top 10. I mean, we've seen a lot of guys up and down, but Derek Paulson started in seventh. He's up there in fourth. Ray Courtney started in eighth. He's up there in fifth. Robert Kahn started in second. He's still hanging in there in third, and now he's got the fresh tires, trying to run these first two guys down. But a big gap in between the top two guys and third place. Ty Marasco, another one that, as we mentioned, started in first position. He's in ninth, and then Dalton Kilroe started in sixth and currently in seventh. So about half the top 10 was drivers that started there, and the other half are guys that came from the back. But I've seen that, yeah, I wanted to see Medford's car again. I don't know if I was seeing things, but maybe one of the reasons Medford is so fast is he's got that front end kind of caved in there a little bit. You wouldn't think it makes it any faster, but I've seen that before, and I guess that's how he's getting to the front, just pushing people out of the way.
I mean, get out of the way. I mean, sometimes you take a little bit of damage in one of the vehicles, and it does look like it's crushed in just a little bit, but I'm not 100% sure if that's a... Yeah, it's definitely a pushed-in nose to front end on the 83. So a Spartan, right? Spartan kick, Spartan punch, Spartan bumper. I mean, definitely making it work right now as he's currently sitting in P number 6, 18 spots up from where he started.
We are on lap number 74 of 120 here at Las Vegas in the Virtual Velocity Racing Series. Again, thank you for everybody tuning in. Tell us who you out there rooting for. Obviously, we see Barry out there going with Marasco tonight. Who else do you guys got out there? We see a bunch of you guys watching the streams out here, so don't be afraid to mention who you're rooting for, who you want to see more of, who you're surprised at, and who you're rooting for the entire season, really. But it's been a great race out here so far. But as we are now on lap 75, getting to the later stage of this race, it's about time to crank these boys up, turn our mics off, and give you all a little love to hear it.
Love to hear it. Hear it coming up. sights, the sounds, and the gambling of the drivers continues here at Vegas. We're on lap 83. It's all Robert Kahn out front over Derek Paulson, and continues to just kind of show a great run that he's having here tonight. So we'll see how this thing ends up. But Carl, I mean, what do you think? I mean, these drivers have at least one more pit stop to make here tonight.
Yeah, battle for the lead here. Paulson on the inside of Kahn. But, I mean, yeah, the strategy so far has been, looks like, about half the field taking tires that first pit stop, and then the other half taking tires the second pit stop there. But we've had some taking tires on both. So it's really just kind of unbelievably shaking up this field. I mean, I've never seen a field get shaken up this much with all green flag laps. I mean, certainly a field can get shaken up at, your super speedways with some big wrecks and everything like that. But these guys have been green for 85 so far in this one. And the field is just, I mean, put them all in a bingo roller and roll it back out, and then that's what you're going to come up with here. It's been all over the place with these drivers, but battle for the lead right now between Kahn and Paulson, and we do got one more pit stop coming up, probably within the next 5-6 laps. You'll see these guys come down for their final pit stop of the race, and they'll be good to go to the end. And you got to assume whether they've taken 2 sets of tires already or not. You got to take tires on this last pit stop because it's going to be the money stop the way it seems with these guys still out there running green. You don't want to take a chance of having those older tires out there for that last 30 laps.
Yeah, I would believe that everybody's going to go ahead and gamble and take them tires, but you might have that person gamble that it only takes 2 to try to nudge out a few seconds on the track. Plenty of passing opportunities around here, as we've seen the multiple lines working here tonight. So yeah, I think we're going to see. I don't think the pit stop strategy is just quite done yet.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, you never know. It's like I said, it's Vegas. I mean, it's time to gamble, trying to get a win. Looking at your winner last week here, Dalton Kilroe, trying to go back-to-back. He is in the top 5, so another good run here for the 41 machine, but he's got some company right behind him with Ray Courtney pulling up right behind in the 99. As this is going to be a battle here for the top 5, as Courtney now going to go to the outside. The man that is running in second, ran second last week, and that is Derek Paulson. Certainly would like to get one more step up there as he tried to battle for a bit there with Robert Kahn, but wasn't able to complete the pass. But I'm sure he doesn't want to be the one in second twice, but now it looks like he may have mounted another charge here at the front. Another battle for the lead here between Kahn and Paulson, side by side again, going through 1 and 2. Again, these guys are coming into the pits in the next few laps, so they need to decide this pretty quickly. As the 21 dives down to the bottom, we'll see if he comes into the pits this time by. Now he's going to be staying out, as is the 16. And again, Jimmy, this is going to be the money stop. This is the one where you absolutely need to kill it. Coming in, hitting your stop, and hitting your stall on the sign. You don't want to slide through. You don't want to come up short. You need to be right on there and then get out of the pits as quick as possible, because every 1/10 of a second clearly is going to matter, especially between these front 2 guys who have pulled a 3 1/4 second gap over third place, Joseph Krzyalva. But we are now starting the pit cycle here, as Robert Kahn going to give up that battle for the lead. Give it over to Derek Paulson. He's going to come in the pits. Looks like Ray Courtney, Joseph Krzyalva, divers in the pits as well. So it is the money stop here for these boys, as we've got 30 laps to go at Vegas.
30 laps to go. A good chunk of the drivers are already coming down into the pits. Derek Paulson's still staying out there, trying to lead a few laps, but I would imagine he's going to come down in this time by. He's not going to get undercut by somebody else, but it looks like a pretty solid entry there by him to for that last and final time. But right now, back out front though is the 17 of Brian Dees, still staying out there. One more time around, maybe wanting to get that lap led, and then back there in P number 6, up 21 spots is Chantel Pottle. So maybe staying out there, and looks like they are going to come down into the pits as well.
Looks like this will complete the cycle for everyone out there. And yes, indeed, everybody has come in, and at least the majority of the field has come in and made their final pit stops. Some of the guys towards the back may have to come in and take a little bit more fuel to finish this thing out. But we got quite a few drivers out of the race the way it looks, as 27 still in the race. Looks like 28 as Mike Rideout back there in 30th is still out there and running, but leader in the pits is Brian Dees, but Robert Kahn is the one that's going to cycle around here and end up taking the lead once they come by the start and finish line this time. And right there, Kahn in the lead by a mere 0.4 of a second over second place. Derek Paulson, Ray Courtney in third. Courtney is in third from taking that gamble, not taking tires on that pit stop here. So he is gambling on a late race caution to really stick it to these guys and have a chance at stealing this win here. But everybody else around him has decided to take tires. Mike Taylor now in the pits, falling down the order there. Ty Marasco, is he back in the pits a second time here? Because I see him dropping down the order quite a bit. Not sure what happened to the driver of the one-year pole sitter here tonight, but he now finds himself back there in 24th.
Oh, I'm not even, where's he at? I'm not able to hook him, so I'm not quite sure what's up with Ty.
Trying to look through SDK to see if anything in particular happened, but I'm not seeing anything here mentioning him, so not sure yet. I see that he entered pit road, but I mean, yeah, if that was a pit road issue and he decided to retire it, or what the case was. But I mean, again, another one.
Out of the race right now.
Yeah, another one that started in the front, now way in the back. But it is Robert Kahn at the front right now by about 0.75 of a second over Derek Paulson. And these guys have checked out from the rest of the field. We got Ray Courtney in third, but he's back there about 2.5 seconds behind these guys. Another 1 second back is Dalton Kilroe, but he is coming coming fast as he is catching up to Ray Courtney, who doesn't have those new tires. So you got to figure the 41 is looking to grab a podium spot, but right behind him is Joseph Grijalva, who has some fresh tires as well, trying to follow that 41 up front. Wants to battle there for a podium position before this thing is over as well. That is your current top 5. Brian Dees back here in 6th place. In 7th place is the 57 of Joshua Divers. He is up 18 spots for the race here. In 8th place is the 83 of Brandon Mefford, up 16 spots. Eric Blunt is one of the few guys that started in the top 10, still in the top 10. He started in 4th. He's back 5 spots to 9th right now. And then in 10th place is the 84 of Len McNeese. I haven't really talked much about him, but he's been kind of hanging around the back half of the top 10. Now finds himself in there, up 3 spots. In 11th, right behind him, is DJ Mitzel. He is up 15 spots as well.
And a lot of these drivers, I mean, it's like I said, it's hard to catch everybody. There's a lot, but a lot of them are doing great things. And we talk about a lot of the big movers, you know, falling back here with the 00. He's sitting in 12th place of Gordon Larson's 12th, Chris Moreland in 13th in that Miller Genuine Draft. Tyler Hilton in the 02 was falling back quite a ways from the start, and maybe just didn't have the race pace or burn up his tires too early, but still a decent run here within the top half of the field. Tim Lee, out there finally being able to get out here and race with us tonight, sitting back there in P15. Chantel Powell having a great run, up a few spots, 11 spots to be exact. Sitting in P16 is Michael Pratt, and in P17. Logan Meter back there in 18th. Mike Taylor is back here in 19th. Todd Merkel back in P20. Richard Schussler in the 21st. 9 spots though. Buddy Griffin's in 22nd. Down a few spots from the start. And that 48 Lowe's machine. Let's see, 23rd, Ray Radford back there in 23rd. Stephen Lauder in heat number 24. Ty Marasco is out. Let's see, Brian Rayfield is in the pit still. Michael Eden out. Russ Hancock's out. Mike Rideout's out. Tim Williams, Hayden Miller, Robert Smith. I think Todd Poston is out as well. He's sitting in the pits. But yeah, still a few, 25 drivers, or excuse me, 24 drivers still out on the track of the 35 that started call.
How about that guy that's in 17th place right now? Got to give a shout out to the 77 of Michael Pratt. He's up 15 spots from his qualifying position, but he's up even further because he is the one that we mentioned in the beginning of the race. Started from pit lane, tried his best to just stay on the lead lap, waited for a caution. We're 18 laps to go. Caution that never came out, but his perseverance is what got him up there into the 17th place right now, and now battling with Pottle, going to move himself up into 16th. So, I mean, just heck of a determination throughout this race. I mean, you could easily have gone halfway through this race and you're so far behind, a lap down at that point, just throw it in. It's going to be a bad race, but no, he stuck it out, and he is more than halfway up through this field right now. So I mean, hats off to Michael Pratt for getting it done there. But we turn our sights now to the front. 17 laps to go. To be 16 now at the line. And we've got a battle brewing here. Robert Kahn at the front, but right there looking out from the bumper, looking at Derek Paulson right there in second place. Dalton Kilroy is the one that's now in third, but he is 3.25 seconds back. This is a two-man battle here at the front with 15 to go at the line.
Yeah, and 15 laps is not a long time. We're talking less than, right around 7 minutes, or if not less, for these two drivers to battle on out. I'll work their way up through some traffic, as you can see just in front there. Down the backstretch, they're coming up on a group of other drivers. And you kind of think in your mind, as you're these two drivers, like, are we going to catch those guys? Are they going to be a factor? If I catch them, as far as the 21 goes, can I use them to keep the 16 behind me? But great battle up front here between 1 and 2.
14 laps now to go, and Paulson, certainly you can't say anything bad about going second to start the season, but Paulson doesn't want to finish second a second time. He wants to try and get this win. He's going to try everything he can to get around that 21, as they are definitely in the midst of some lap traffic right now, and it doesn't look like it's going to be any kind of rest for these guys, because you see right there looking out the window from Paulson, you got some more lap traffic coming up soon. He is trying to get the run here down the back stretch, gets you right up to the back of Kahn, but I almost feel like there's some games being played right now by Paulson, and maybe even by Kahn too, because Paulson certainly doesn't want to show his cards too early. Maybe doesn't want to take the lead too early. Because it's so crazy coming to the end of these races. I mean, both these guys seem to be on even speed. So you may not want to be the guy that's leading at the white flag. You may want to be the guy that kind of makes that last lap pass. But right now we got 12 to go coming down the backstretch. The 21 of Kahn, the 16 of Paulson are certainly the ones to watch for the win.
Yeah, we will continue to watch those two drivers as they continue to battle for the lead, and we're going to go back to a few other battles that are still brewing here late in the race. Back there with the 83 of Brendan Mefford, and I think that's Len McNeese. Yes, it is. Those two are battling back and forth here for 10th place, and then back a little bit farther for 12th. You have Gordon Larson Jr. and Tyler Hilton back here, along with Chris Moreland. So these three drivers also battling out here. Another battle back in 17th place is Chantel trying to fend off of Michael Pratt, the hard charger. I guess more of a hard charger than you could think, I guess, from the advancement numbers, because like as Carl was talking, was that he was the lone Skittle all by himself. So now he's all mixed with everybody else, middle of the pack. So great job there by Michael Pratt. And then we have another battle, and might be laps down, but Ray Radford battling it out with Stephen Lauder in front of him. So.
And Ray Radford, mentioned he was the hard charger last week as he started back there in 26th, one spot off of shotgun on the field, and finished in 14th. So kind of looking to do a little bit of the same here tonight as he started back there in 35th position. He was shotgun on the field here tonight, but up 11 spots. Just again, some perseverance to get to the end here. It gains him a bunch of spots with a lot of guys dropping out of this race. And getting into a spot that he's probably a little bit more happy with. But at the front, these guys are not letting each other go. It is still a two-man battle. But third place, Dalton Kilroy, reeling them in just a little bit. It's down to 2 3/4 seconds right now. Kilroy trying to do everything he can to go 2 for 2 here on the season, but time is starting to run out. These guys are now coming to the line, 7 laps to go here, and Paulson and Kahn, you can throw a blanket over them. They're not going anywhere away from each other right now. It is still Kahn at the front, but Paulson just showing his nose to the left, to the right. Just, hey, I'm still here, and you're not getting away from me.
Yeah, I mean, he has to keep them guessing. He can't be like, this is the only line that I'm comfortable driving. So you're going to get all kinds of looks from a driver that's kind of behind you. And then, you don't want to show the guy leading or the driver leading doesn't want to show his cards too much either. So it is a chess match here. Which one can maintain? You see a little bit of blocking, but it looks like the 16 is going to make that move, going to try to get that underside of that 21 here with 6 laps remaining.
Yeah, coming to the line, get me 5 to go, and we are side by side for first place. Kahn on the outside, Paulson on the inside. And Paulson maybe thinking it is time to go right now as they head off into turn number 1. Side by side, no distance in between these drivers, and really no distance at all, almost getting together. You certainly don't want to throw away your race that way by causing the late race caution here, but they head off into turn number 3. It seems like that middle line just a little bit quicker. I mean, both guys have been running that low line for a majority of the race, but now once you get racing side by side, it could be the middle line that's just enough to kind of hold off and get those good runs off the corner, but still side by side into turn number 1, 4 to go.
I don't want to say anything to ruin the race because, man, are they close.
Paulson has to fall back in line as they head through turns 3 and 4, and now he's going to have to mount another battle here with Kahn, but they are 3 to go now at the line. They've got 2.3 seconds back to Kilroy, so Kilroy still catching up to these guys, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to be too little too late as he is pulling away from Grzelva and trying to reel these guys in, and maybe a mistake by these guys could bring them back into play here, but it is all the play for the win here between the 21 of Kahn and the 16 of Derek Paulson. Going through 3 and 4, it is 2 to go at the line.
And one more lap here to go before that white flag flies. And this race will be in the books. It'll be another race that has gone from start to finish, green to checkered. I am thoroughly impressed, especially with the size of field that was out here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been a great race at Atlanta, and now another great race here at Vegas. White flag in the air, 1 more lap to go, 1.5 miles here to crown our second winner of the season. It's going to be a new one unless these guys both been it on the last lap here. Dalton Kilroy, your winner last week, is solidly in 3rd place, but the battle here for the win between the 21 of Kahn. Paulson sends it in there as deep as he can into turn number 3. Coming around, you got some lap traffic coming off the corner. Got very close there, but the 21 of Kahn is going to hold off the 16 of Paulson for the win. What a battle there to the end, and certainly the 12 there, Moreland didn't want to get in the way, tried to stay out of the way as much as possible, but it just, they kind of almost came together off the corner there. What a finish for Las Vegas here in race number 2, and you see the respect there between the drivers here, and saying congratulations there to the 21. But Khan is going to take this thing home. Derek Paulson in second, Dalton Kilroe, Joseph Verjalva, and Brian Dees, your top 5. Divers, Mefford, Courtney, McNeese, and Blunt, your top 10.
Great racing, and just like I said, you don't see it very often where you get the drivers to get out there and they are able to run a full race and have multiple green flag pit stops and just basically put this field to a test, have great racing up front, mid-pack, back of the pack, just kind of all over the place, Carl. I think if anybody had any mistakes, I think there might have been a few drivers that maybe messed up their pit stops or pit strategy, but it is one of those things that, with green flag racing, it can really, really hurt you.
Waiting for the burnout here from the 21 of Robert Kahn, but I mean, these guys might have been right on it with the pit strategy as well. So he may be legit out of fuel and just not have the fuel to do the burnout here, as you don't see him moving at all.
I think it's quiet. I think the car's quiet.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your celebration. The quietest celebration. Maybe he's doing the old Carl Edwards. We'll see if he climbs out of the car and does a backflip off the roof.
I mean, you gotta do something to celebrate, right?
Yeah, put it in neutral, at least coast into the grass, and we'll take a picture there. But great run by all these guys out here again. Fantastic finish. But I mean, it just all hats off to all the drivers out here for keeping it clean. Now for 240 straight laps here to start the season. But your rundown of the finish here is going to be Robert Kahn by 0.12 seconds over Derek Paulson in second. Dalton Kilroe, Joseph Verjalva, Brian Dees, your top 5. Joshua Divers, Brandon Mefford, Ray Courtney, Len McNeese, Eric Blunt, your top 10. Gordon Larson, Chris Moreland, Tyler Hilton, DJ Mitzel, Chantel Pottle, your top 15. Then you got Michael Pratt, Tim Lee, admin, Tim Lee, Billy Van Meter, Michael Taylor, Todd Merkel, your top 20. Then you got Cody Griffin, Chris Schussler, Stephen Lauder, Ray Radford, Michael Rideout, Ty Marasco, Brian Rainville, Michael Eden, Russ Hancock, Matthew McMeekin, Tim Williams, Hayden Wheeler, Robert Smith, Todd Poston, Hilton Young. Heck of a big size field out here tonight. 35 drivers taking the green flag out here tonight, and most of them bringing it home and taking that checker flag. But it's time to talk to our top 3 here tonight. And we're going to first bring in the 41 of Dalton Kilroe. And Dalton, it was one heck of a race out there, and you got close to going 2 for 2 here to start the season. But, I mean, tell me what it's been like so far for the season. Obviously, you get the win last week in Atlanta, but you guys just caution-free the entire season so far. It's got to feel great.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Again, like we were saying it last week, for mostly a new group of guys, aside from, like, I'd say probably about half the crew out here. For us to come out here and just keep going caution-free now 2 weeks in a row, that's just awesome. That's what a lot of leagues look for, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I know in terms of my race, that second fuel run was very frustrating for me, just because I got put in some pretty bad spots and lost a lot of track position and time to Derek and Rob, and just didn't have enough speed in the car to make it back up. So hey, I'm just glad I was able to at least get almost 2 seconds behind him at the end there. That made me feel a little good.
Yeah, you were certainly doing whatever you could to try and reel these guys in here at the front, but you feel like that second run might have been what eventually cost you a chance at the win here?
Yeah, I mean, we had some guys come in on different tire strategies, and they just they were passing me at a really weird time where it was just coming right out of the corner, and they were just on my right rear, so I couldn't clear up, and I had to just keep kind of turning down. And just when I was about to get back into a rhythm, somebody else would send it either to my inside or on my outside, and I just for 7-8 laps, I was just out of my rhythm, and that cost me a bunch. And then my tires were destroyed from try to navigate through that, and then I just fell back like a rock. But luckily, the fresh tire speed was there, so I was able to at least make some of it up and feel a little bit better about myself.
Well, the first two races here at Atlanta and Vegas, obviously just kind of speed drums here to start the season. But you guys head to Phoenix next week, and that's certainly not going to be just pedal to the metal the entire way. A little bit more technical of a track, a little bit flatter of a track. How do you feel going out to Phoenix?
I'm hit or miss at this track. I mean, honestly, for me, Phoenix is just gonna not be fun. I've never really run that great at Phoenix. I mean, I've had a couple moments of, hope, and those have quickly been dashed by, me not keeping the right front on the car, and then, pancaking the wall like I'm Dale. So, it's all just going to be keeping that right front on it, and we'll see what happens. I'm not too confident. I'd say looking for top 10, but we'll see.
Well, listen, I mean, a first and a third to start out the season is certainly a great way to start the season off. And even if you end up pancaking the wall next week, I'm sure you'll be fast up to that point. So congratulations on the success so far in the season, and certainly the success tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Well, got to thank MF Racing Designs on Facebook, again, team owner, paint owner, and he just makes awesome for us all the time. I got to thank Gold Line Guardians, Hilton Crafts and Design, and Fort Worth Screen Printing, and you guys for doing the broadcast for us, and everybody on the admin team over here at Virtual Velocity Racing for putting this league on.
We appreciate it, buddy. Again, congrats on the podium here. Go celebrate with your teammates, and we'll see you next week at Phoenix.
Foreman, thank you.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, the 41 of Dalton Kilroe. Now we'll bring in our second place finisher. Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take the 16 here of Derek Paulson?
Hey, Derek, Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. Copy.
I gotcha.
A fantastic racing here tonight. I think it's almost, I might be my first back-to-back league races that went from start to finish with not one single caution, no stage breaks, no nothing. 3 green flag pit stops. I mean, what was your strategy here tonight? Obviously, you came out on top and it worked out well for you. Did you have enough for Robert there at the end to get around him, or did you just burn up your tires just a little bit too much, kind of just putting you in the spot there for P number 2?
These cars are so identical in speed. Robert and I were pretty much on top of each other for speed-wise during the race. The only thing that I could do better was the double stinting of the tires at the beginning of the race. I ended up passing I actually passed everybody that did double stint, and then some, and had a pretty good, fairly decent lead double stinting. And if we would have had the double stint again, I would have felt really good. I would have felt pretty confident on easily getting up there in the front. But hot lapping, I'm not good with hot lapping, and just driving the car on the ragged edge is just not my driving style. But you got to do that with these cars, so I'm slowly learning to adapt. I can get to them, I can get underneath them, but pinching me down and getting stuck on the bottom, you're just at such a disadvantage. I didn't really have much for them there towards the end. After that, I had one shot with like 6 to go, got under him, but other than that, I didn't have much for him.
Yeah, in any case, you walk away putting the 16, there on the podium in P number 2, off to a great start for the season. Just from us here up in the booth, want to say congratulations and give you a little time for any shout outs that you may have.
Well, I got to think, last week I was extremely rusty. This is my, I'm just going for P2s this year, it seems like. And I wasn't prepared. I'm a little bit more prepared this time around. I got to thank Michael Falk Racing Designs. He's the one that puts the paint on the car. I got to thank MFRD, Team MFRD. That's Dalton and Brian Dees and Ty Morosco. And we did have Hayden in with us just for tonight. I got to thank those guys. Always good to have them on the radio during the race. I got to thank the guys. I mean, we just went 2 tracks with cars on top of each other, and tonight we had 35
Yes.
and went caution free. And
Amazing.
that doesn't happen very often, really anywhere. And
No.
so that's just I get a shout out to the guys. It was awesome. Racing was awesome. Respect was awesome. That's what we like to see here at this league, and it's been great. And then I got a shout out to our sponsors, GLA, Hilton Designs, and Fort Worth Screen Printing. And then I got to thank you guys up there in the booth for broadcasting us. I will be going back and rewatching this one.
Definitely a lot of good action throughout the track as you walk away tonight in P number 2. But again, congratulations from CRN and everybody else out there, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
That is your second place finisher again here on the season, the 16 of Derek Paulson. But now we'll bring in the man that was able to hold him off there for the end, and it was a heck of a battle all the way to the line. But the 21 of Robert Kahn. And Robert, I guess we'll kind of work our way backwards. The end of the race there, very tight between you and Paulson for the last 10, 15, 20 laps for sure. Kind of just waiting for him to make his move. He made it move a couple times, but wasn't able to make the pass. But then you guys come off that final corner on the final lap, and you have the lap car right there. Looked like he was doing everything he could to stay out of your guys' way. But, I mean, how much was your heart in your throat at that point?
Oh, it was. And the thing about it was I was trying to stay up a little bit behind him to catch a draft because I was running out. When I hit the Las Vegas sign at the start-finish line, I had nothing left. So I was trying to get every ounce of fuel out of that thing. I was hoping he'd stay in front of me for the rest of the straight, you know. So, but it was still Derek's a hell of a racer. So I was just trying to save, but they keep him in front behind me too. That's hard to do. That's a double standard.
You know, we got reminded to make sure we got the burnout on the video. There was no burnout.
It was epic. It was epic. We were waiting for you to climb out the window and at least, give us a Carl Edwards backflip or something. But either way, I mean, listen, this was not an easy race out here for you guys. 35 guys out here on the track, and I don't think I've ever seen so many drivers be, kind of out of position from where they started the race to where they were running at one point or another on the track. I mean, there was one point where the top 4 guys were all up at least 18 positions from their starting position, and we had guys that started in the top 10 and finished towards the back of the pack. I mean, just up and down all over the place. Pit strategies were unreal. I mean, some guys taking tires, some guys not. So how crazy, how hectic was it in the race in the car tonight?
Well, it was. I mean, the strategy part of it was tough because when I came out of the first pit stop, I noticed people were on fresh tires, and I just been burned at the end of these races with taking tires early and not having them at the end. So I didn't know where the hell I was going to finish because about halfway through, I was like 8th place, and I didn't know who had tires, who didn't, and it just cycled through. I mean, if you would ask me where to finish at lap 50, I'd say somewhere between 8th and 10th because I didn't know where I was going to fall up at,
Yeah, what goes through the decision making on your side of the car when it comes to the pit stops? I mean, tonight you guys were pretty much locked into 3 pit stop strategy, and you guys have 3 sets of tires in the pits. So I mean, given the fact that you guys have now gone 2 green flag races, I mean, do you still have to have that mindset where you need a set of tires there in the pits just in case there's a late race caution, or are you more in the mindset now, well, we're staying green, I got to take tires every time?
Well, that's what that last pit stop I was considering, because usually traditionally at Las Vegas you have towards the end, this track's kind of like more of pack racing kind of deal, and I was nervous taking my tires because I figured somebody might save them, but I just took a gamble on it that it was going to stay green, and I'm lucky it paid off. But this wasn't a traditional Vegas race. Usually you have some kind of caution with after halfway, that stuns me.
What the hell's wrong with you guys? So yeah,
So clean.
It's like you think you're making the right decision on it, and you're like, this doesn't feel right. It's not going to happen,
Yeah, and it's tough. It makes those decisions that much harder. But I mean, you get it done here tonight. Heck of a race by you, and you grab your first win of the season here. And I believe this is your first race out here this season. So heck of a way to start your season here. But now, as I mentioned, to our third place driver here, Phoenix next week. I mean, Phoenix is definitely different than Atlanta and Vegas. I mean, Atlanta and Vegas, you're damn near wide open the entire time out there, but Phoenix is a little bit more technical, a little bit flatter. So, what are your thoughts on Phoenix? Do you feel like you have a shot out there?
I think so. I'm not going to say I have a shot at a win, but a top five there. The tire wear there is crucial at that place, and strategy is. So if we go caution free on that one, I'm going to be impressed, because usually that's a pretty tough track.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, either way, you got your win here tonight, and you can kind of let your hair down a little bit for Phoenix and just maybe relax a little bit. But I'm sure that the track is going to be coming at you there, and with the size of the fields that you guys are bringing out here, it's not really going to be any chance to take a breath. But congrats on the win here tonight, and I want to give you a chance to give any shout outs or thanks that you may have.
Yeah, just want to thank Goldline Guardians for being a part of the league, Hilton Craft and Design, and then John Garrett over at Fort Worth Screen Printing. I guess you guys need some T-shirts or anything printed, man. He's your guy.
All right, well, once again, congrats on the win here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next week out of Phoenix.
All right, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
That is your winner here tonight, the 21 of Robert Kahn. Jimmy, 240 laps in the books, and all green flag laps. So I guess we can probably start paying Barney a little bit less. I mean, he's only having to throw three flags the entire night. I
think I caught him up there sleeping at one point.
Yeah, he's not earning his pay for sure. We need a little blowhorn to let him know, hey, it's coming up on the final lap here. But
he's probably like, hey guys, stop giving me on the runaround. I mean, usually I've had my fair share of leagues that have had some troublesomes on tracks, and you feel out for them is because you know how rough it is on like the drivers and their emotions and their egos and everything that kind of gets in the way of having a good time sometimes when the races don't go the way they want them to. But so far so good here at Velocity as or virtual velocity racing. I mean, 2 races on 2 fast tracks and a big field. I mean, a full pack field, 35 cars here tonight. And yes, a couple people stepped out, and that there, I think, is just a sportsmanship that if somebody was having car problems, just take it down to pits. I'm not going to be in it tonight, so I'm going to park this thing and get out of the way and let the rest of the drivers have a green flag run tonight. So a shout out to all those drivers out there that come out here and they give it their best, and sometimes it doesn't go your way and you park it for the night, and that's all good. But still a lot of drivers out there running. I think we still had 25 cars on the track at the end, but great finish. Congratulations to the top 3 and obviously the rest of the field.
Yeah, another great run by these boys, and certainly got to give a shout out once again to the 77 there of Michael Pratt for coming all the way back and really having the perseverance to start from the pits and still make a heck of a race out of it, coming there in 16th. But also, you got guys in the top 10 there. Brendan Mefford started in 24th, finished 7th. Joshua Divers started in 25th and finished 6th. So these guys making some big moves through the field. And those are guys that put down lap times. So, whether they had a bad qualifying effort, what the case is, they certainly showed their speed and got their way up there to the front at the end. 7 different leaders here tonight once again, but it was the 21 of Robert Kahn getting it done. So congrats to him, and congrats to everybody here in the league for doing a great job for these first 2 races. And whether Tim Lee is in the field or just watching from abroad, he's got to be happy with what he's seeing through the first 2. I know I'm happy. Jimmy, I know you've been happy. Listen, Phoenix is a mile. I know it's a little flatter, but it is not a short track. It is, and these guys get to go a little bit faster because they got the apron wide open. The dog leg is open for them next week out there, so it'll be a good one out there for sure. And we have to see what these guys can do using a brake pedal other than going in the pits, because you're certainly going to need to out there at Phoenix. But it's been another great one out here for the Virtual Velocity Racing Series. Thank you to everybody that tuned in tonight. If you haven't done so yet, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe. But for myself and Jimmy here at Vegas, We'll see you at the track.
Peace.